Happy Thursday. Less than a month to go till Valentine's. And this morning, we want to know, how did you meet your better half? We're asking this because a new Netflix show, Love is Blind, is coming to Charlotte.
Your favorite show.
My favorite show.
Can I ask you a question about that? What is that on?
Netflix.
It is Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even though the show's been around, it will be newly in Charlotte. And in the last 24 hours, we've gotten a glimpse of some of the participants, which some of them are neighbors here in Charlotte.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So it's a very popular reality show, again, featuring a bunch of contestants from right here in the Queen City. So once again, it's called Love is Blind. A set of singles, all coming from Charlotte, are going to contest, and that's going to start on February 14th. But we wanted to give a quick refresh on how the show works. So it's a very different approach to modern dating. Everyone participating, they go into these pods, and they meet other singles. And the point is to connect with someone based on their character rather than their looks, hence the title, Love is Blind. So this season, though, people on the show are actually going to choose to marry someone without ever meeting them.
I don't understand that. It makes no sense.
You know what? It's TV, y'all. It's entertainment.
I think maybe I did watch part of the first season.
The first season really took off. Yes.
And so they film around Charlotte after they meet each other? Is that what happens when they decide to get married?
I don't know about all the shooting strategies, but...
So typically, they eventually meet each other, and then from there, they're going to be living in one place in Charlotte.
They move in.
And then they go out and do different things, and they'll meet up with the other couples.
So you're a fan of this show, Chris?
Well, Kim watches it, and then I do become a fan of it. My favorite was the
Love is Blind.
Yeah, I haven't seen the most recent one, but the Portland episodes. There was something crazy happened. This guy, Zach, and he chose somebody instead of this woman, Blair. And then they realized they weren't working, so he actually ended up meeting up with Blair again. So he kind of...
So you can change your person.
This one was a crazy twist, but here's the deal. Those two are going to have their baby.
They got married. It's working out.
Yeah, that one actually worked out.
So it's not just Charlotte.
It's like drama now. Well, okay, yes and no. So each season, I think it's a different city.
Yes, it is.
So like the first season that got everyone's attention, it was in Atlanta.
Okay.
And now this season is going to be in Charlotte, which is actually really cool.
And the thing about, what was that show, Ultimatum? That was also here in Charlotte. So, yeah.
I've heard of that one.
Charlotte really... This is the place to come film your show.
Chris has got his finger on the pulse of these dating shows.
Yes,
Who knew, out of all of us, that he would be the one?
I love that.
I was the dark horse here. You didn't realize this. Yeah, no, and I actually, especially that Portland episode, I used to follow all the people. I got really invested
on social media.
On social media, yeah.
I want to check it out.
But Kia, we talked to one of the contestants, right?
Yes.
You called him a contestant? Sure.
I'm not going to lie. I've been trying to, all during the show this morning, I was trying to figure out if they're participants, if they're contestants. I was just like, the people on the show.
Sure. Okay.
At that point. But yes, so we actually met with one of the participants, contestants, whatever you want to call them, a couple of years ago. And so this was actually a person that broke history at one of our local middle schools. So here is a little snippet of that interview.
I was in my head absolutely about my age. I was in my head absolutely about my experience, my years of experience. Not more so could I do the position, could I fulfill the role, but truly like what the perception would be of me being in this role with those things like being a fact.
So that is Kenneth Gorham. Again, he's going to be on the show that premieres on Valentine's Day this year. But that was 2022. So over at Movement Middle School, he was the youngest principal in that school's history.
Yeah.
He was only 24 years old, guys. Yes. 24 years old.
Out of context,
Age is just a number,
that soundbite out of context was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes much more sense.
But he's a contestant or a participant?
Yes. So he's going to be on this show now.
Groom to be?
We're gonna
potential groom.
That's right. That's right.
We're going to see it.
How do you win the show?
I don't
By
think
finding
it's
love.
a win. Yeah, exactly.
You just ask Chris. Let's just ask Chris all our questions.
By finding love, because it is actually pretty cool when you are watching this blind love that you really see them build on different commonalities.
Win?
So
there is no win.
There is no win.
You just hope you say
your winning is saying yes. You both say I do at the altar.
There you go.
Yeah, because there's also people right at the beginning because you're talking to multiple people where some people don't even find a couple right away. So some people are just going home. They sat in a room by themselves for a week, and that was it.
Oh, they don't progress.
They don't progress. But then once it's really cool after they get to meet each other.
Larry's face.
It's a crazy world, Larry.
It is. Wow. But then you can actually really see that they're like, oh my God, that's you. And they don't often work out, I'll be honest with you. But the ones that do.
So what are any of them like disappointed when if they really like their person?
That's the drama.
Yeah, some are faking
So
it.
they'll meet each other and then kind of be disappointed when they see.
It's like when you open that Christmas gift and the person's like, oh, thanks.
Like,
oh, wow. And then like some social issues have even kind of like crept their way into the show too. Like people have like thought that someone had a different background, then it got a little wild. It got a little wild. So
maybe I have to start watching it.
Well, you have
when does
to
it start again?
Valentine's Day.
Okay.
But we can catch up on the old seasons, we really know.
I have zero interest on catching up with the old seasons, but I will watch it.
Season 1
I will watch this one just because it's in Charlotte. I will watch it.
We are getting some comments. Joy says
people how they met.
Sounds interesting.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I got caught up. I fanboyed.
But yes, back to our original question.
All over the place.
Melissa says we met online, then we met in public places until we got to know each other. Together 8 years, married 5 years.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's awesome.
We asked people this morning during the broadcast, and overwhelmingly, a lot of people said they met online.
Responses. There was Match.com. There was, I think it's Plenty of Fish is the other one. I think that's a Christian-based one, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But a lot of cute stories. This one on Facebook, I thought that was really interesting.
That's what happened
with
Kim and I.
We met on Twitter.
Yeah.
What? It was before dating apps existed.
The first dating sites.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
First dating sites, yes.
I keep forgetting that that's like a normalcy now, and it certainly wasn't always that way.
No.
Because as soon as I saw Facebook, I was like,
I remember when, was it Tinder? I don't know, one of those apps came out, and one of the producers was on it. Of course, I was married at the time, but I swiped for her because it was so fun, and it would, like, say if they matched, it would go, you matched, and you could swipe left or right. I wish they had those when I was younger. It would have been so fun. But anyway.
It sounds horrible to me.
It's fun if you're not like, if you don't have to deal with the dating scene.
If you don't have a vested interest in it, I think it's fun.
Yeah,
if you're actually like looking for love, I feel like, God.
Yeah, well, especially if you don't get the match. It's like, yes, oh, no match, okay.
Yeah. And then Bumble's the one where if you match, the girl has to initiate.
Oh, that's awesome.
Interesting.
Kia, have you done any dating apps?
No, they scare me.
They scare you.
And I don't like the idea. I mean, maybe it's just like a super philosophical.
Philosophical.
I don't like the idea of like shopping for people. That's what it gives me, and I don't like
You want it to happen organically.
Exactly.
Out through friends.
Right.
Listen, I'd be the same
You
way.
met through friends, right?
But we met through friends. I think I'd be the same way as you. But I will say, I mean, it's a very common, popular.
Yeah,
I feel like it is the new like normal.
Yeah, there's no shame.
Oh,
absolutely.
exactly. Yeah,
It's the
no
new
shame.
normal. And I think people are so busy with work and their life. Like a lot of times, it's a lot easier than
it is
going out to a bar and waiting to see it. Like it's just like how exhausting is that?
How about you?
The old-fashioned way. In college.
In college.
Yeah.
There were a couple of college stories.
That's
Our eyes
great.
met and it was love forever.
You know what? That's what
At
my
ECU?
parents met too. Yeah.
At ECU?
At East Carolina, yeah.
Oh.
Two old pirates.
I love it.
I love it.
I also saw some people met at work. I think that's
Oh,
really
yeah, that was a
unique.
lot of
and then someone
responses.
during the pandemic. So talk about turning a bad situation to a great situation. That's wonderful.
Deronda Steele says, I met my husband walking my dog. We were engaged for 7 years.
What? Wow.
But we've been married for 38 years, 39 in October. That is awesome.
Engaged for 7 years.
I know. I gave him like, once we knew, I gave him about a year. And I was like, my biological clock is ticking.
Like 12 months.
Well, I'm moving on if you ain't ready.
That's valid. That is valid.
I feel like after a year or so, I feel like you should know.
Yes, it's like, okay, let's
What's
do
going
this or
on?
not.
Yeah, no.
But I have plenty of friends that were engaged for several years and then finally got married.
Yeah, Melissa, agree. I met my ex at work, 0 stars. Do not recommend. Yeah, agree. Like,
Well, it's hard. I know
dipping your pen in the
people
company
do it,
ink
but
is always very, very dangerous.
I know, and you're also like with them all the time, and then you want to go home
There's
to
no
them.
escaping work. It's just constant work.
Yes.
So that's kudos to the
Agree.
person
I
that
did that
work
once,
out.
and I won't do that again.
Yeah, and I know people too that have anchored together that have been married, and it's like, I mean,
It
like,
never works out.
oh no, it's like,
I know one that was,
Well, yeah,
Don't spill the tea, Larry.
You're exactly right. You can't like escape. It's like if you're having
always there.
issues, then you're gonna be able to tell.
Right.
My cousin Dennis House works in Connecticut, and him and his wife were anchors for I think a couple of decades. But then she finally just got out of the business.
Wow.
So, yeah,
And they're still married.
Testament to, yeah, still married.
Really?
Yeah, there's always an exception to whatever we're talking
There's
about.
Always an exception. So
Yeah.
That is so impressive to me.
Hoda,
I know, me
Hoda was
too.
talking about it yesterday on the Today Show that she had dated one of her old
Oh,
sports
I
anchors.
saw that.
And she said that
didn't end
like
well.
it didn't end well when they were on air together. It was really
Awkward.
Awkward, yeah.
oh yeah, no, you're stuck. Yeah.
Horrible.
Stuff.
I can't imagine.
Unless one of you leaves your job.
And ending on a good note, we
Literally.
also had Sarah that said met in high school, became
Oh.
solid friends, married in
Yes.
2010.
Oh,
so
that's great. I
that's
love
excellent.
it. I love it.
All right, folks, chime in. Let us know, how did you meet your better half? And we'll see you back here tomorrow morning for another edition of WCNC Charlotte to Go.